Is back here with another video, and in this video today, guys, we're going to be doing a tier list of the power forward position in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. Obviously, guys, I'm putting LeBron James in this video. Why? Well, because I feel like he can play power forward at a pretty high level. Even a guy like Andre Kirilenko, I feel like at the power forward position is really solid. You also are going to see a lot of the new Evos. So any of those budget cards worth making your squad, we're going to be going over and talking about that as well. Now, we're going to start off with Al Horford. And as we do, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button if you are new. I really do appreciate all of the recent support. You guys have been going crazy. And it's wild considering, 2K's at the state it's in, and you guys still do what you guys do. Al Horford up first. I'm going to put Big Al, I feel like, in D tier. It's like at this stage, he's just not great. I mean, there was a stage Al Horford was one of the best bigs in the game. It's just that was a while ago. That stage is no longer. I'm going D tier for Big Al. Alonzo Mourning up next. Alonzo's going to give you a lot more, I feel like, defense and speed than Al. I think C tier is the right spot for him. Definitely not a card I'm just going to sit there and gas or hype up, but he's fine. Like, when Alonzo Mourning came out, I actually didn't mind the card. The problem, though, is, like, that was a while ago. Again, in Season 1. And for today's game, I don't think I can put him any higher than C tier. Amari Stoudemire up next. I honestly don't think Amari Stoudemire is even as good as Alonzo Mourning. And you guys can maybe disagree. I just feel like Amari is defensively not great. Offensively, he's fine. He's going to shoot the ball decent. He's going to make some plays. I just feel like on the defensive end of the court, he just leaves that little bit to be desired. Guy who doesn't leave anything to be desired is Bam Adebayo, and I still think for today's game, he's A tier. If there is a card I wish I would have locked in day one, it would be Bam, but I still am glad I didn't. Like, it's crazy to say it, but you had to lock in so much for Bam, and he just ultimately wasn't worth it. If you guys got Bam, awesome, like, cool, but he was not worth that ultimate lock-in. Chris Webber up next. I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to throw him in B tier. I think Bam's better than C-Web just because he's going to play a little more defense. A lot of people really love Chris Webber, and honestly, I don't blame them. The card does a lot at a pretty high level. For me, I just think there are overall better cards in my team. Dennis Rodman up next. This card is a bona fide scrub. I mean, yes, he's going to rebound the ball well, and he actually does in 2K. Like, a lot of times when cards are supposed to rebound the ball well, they're fine, but they don't actually rebound to the level. I feel like whenever I play Dennis Rodman, he does grab a lot of rebounds, but that's literally all he gives you on the court. Dirk up next. I'm going to go D tier with Dirk. I actually don't hate Dirk. I used him in my team salary cap. I about said my team limited. Salary cap just because he was super cheap, a couple of weeks ago. And I mean, he's fine. He's not a bona fide scrub. The problem with Dirk is he's got no defense. Like, offensively, he's actually pretty solid, right? I mean, as long as you can agree with that release, it's pretty solid. Problem is on the defensive end of the court. KD up next. If we're talking about the power forward position, I guess A tier is where he's going to go. And because of that, I'm going to move some people down. I just feel like I can't have Bam and KD at the same tier, but I can't have KD at the same tier as some of the other guys on this list. So it's going to be what it's going to be. Got KD at A tier, Bam at B tier. Chris Bosh, he's the level of KD at the power forward position. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to let you slander my Chris Bosh. I don't know if they changed his release or everybody just got comfortable with it, but I feel like when Chris Bosh first came out, nobody could agree with him. Now, if you watch people use Chris Bosh, everybody's greener with him. So again, I don't know why that happened. I don't know why that is the way it is, but I mean, that's just the facts of the situation. Anthony Davis, A Disney up next. I mean, I think he's more in the A tier level than the B tier level. I do. And I know I'm gassing Anthony Davis badly. I get it. I 100% agree that I'm gassing Anthony Davis. I just don't know if there's anywhere else I can put him. I mean, I just don't. I feel like he's way better than Bam, but I gotta put him at A tier. I have to. I don't have a choice here. Blake Griffin up next. I'm gonna go C tier for Blake Griffin. I feel like Blake's, just not as good as he has been in past years. Why? Well, again, it starts with this. He's only 6'9" instead of 6'10", and he just isn't as good for his time as he has been in the past. Like, what's made him so good in the past is we don't have that many stretch bigs. We don't have that many offensive bigs. And in this year, like, he was just never the best, big in the game. And I think that's really the problem for him. I don't think he's bad. He just isn't as good as he has been in past years. Kevin Love up next. I'm throw him at C tier as well. Kevin Love's going to shoot the ball incredibly well. I mean, I don't think anybody can discredit that, disagree with that. When you're looking for power forwards that can purely shoot the ball, you've got to talk about Kevin Love because he can shoot that rock at a high level, and his release is super easy to time and super easy green. My problem with Kevin Love is his defense is bad. He's 6'8". I mean, it's just those things that hold the card back. Again, he's going to shoot the ball probably better than nearly any other big man in my team. It's just, what else does he give you on the court? Cat, I hate his release. C tier. I feel like Cat always has a bad release for my team. That's the reason he can't go any higher. Larry Bird, I'm actually going to put him at B tier. Not that I recommend you guys locking in Bird, not that I think he's great, but I do think he's B tier. I know he's a little slow, but I feel like at that power forward, position, you don't have to be that fast. I feel like he's going to knock down shots. I actually don't mind Larry Bird. Sure, his release isn't as good as, you might want it to be, but I really don't mind Larry Bird at all in my team. Zion up next. I'm going to go D tier with Zion. You guys might not like this, but I get it. Zion is going to do some things on the court. Again, my whole thing is if you don't shoot the ball well and you don't play great defense, those are the main two things in 2K in my team right now, and he doesn't do either of those at an even good level. And so that's why, look, I know he's going to dunk the ball well, but that really limits your ability on the court in my opinion. Again, these are all my opinions. Draymond Green up next. I feel like Draymond is more on the C tier level than the B tier level. And honestly, guys, we can't talk about Draymond Green without Steph Curry, okay? Because Draymond Green without Steph Curry can't do nothing, okay? Anytime he has to play without Steph Curry, he gets ejected. He assaults Rudy Gobert. So, let's be honest. If Draymond Green is alongside Steph Curry, sure, he'd probably be all the way up in A tier, I would say. Without Steph Curry, he's C tier. He's actually non-existent because he just gets ejected every game. Shawn Kemp up next. I'm going to throw Shawn Kemp at B tier. Shawn Kemp's solid. He's a little different than a guy like Bam. A little different than any other player, B tier. He's going to stretch your court, and he's just going to compete on defense. I don't mind Shawn Kemp. One thing I would say is you definitely want to run him at the power forward position instead of the center position, just for the sole fact that, if he comes up against Shaq, comes up against Wilt, he'll probably get dogged. Thurl Bailey up next. Can't really shoot. I'm throwing him in D tier. Don't love him. John Collins, D tier. Jerry Lucas, going to shoot the ball well, D tier. King James. Now we get to the fun part. S tier. Giannis Antetokounmpo, S tier. On this small forward list, I couldn't compare anybody to LeBron. He was by far and away the best player on that list. Power forward, though, I think Giannis can at least compete. Now, do I think Giannis is better than LeBron James? No. I still think you're going to have more success with LeBron James than Giannis, even at that power forward position in which Giannis is taller. The only thing about it is LeBron James is he's got every stat category solidified. Giannis can go out there and be on the same type of level. My whole thing is Bron is just that next level of good in my team. Both players, though, S tier. Tim Duncan up next, B tier. Look, I don't love Tim Duncan. He can't shoot the ball. Defensively, he's fine. He's just slow. I just don't see what everybody else sees in Tim Duncan. And again, that could be totally my fault because a lot of people do run this card. To me, not worth that price, not worth the lock-in. Josh Smith, I'll go B tier. I know that his defense is off the charts good. I get all that. But when it comes down to Josh Smith and me, my question for you guys would be this. Is his release usable for you? Because if it is, sure, use the card. I don't have an issue. If you can agree with this release and his release does not bug you, does not bother you, I have no issue. Use the card. Have fun with it. I could care less. I'm just saying from my experience with the Brook Lopez base, it is not fun using Josh Smith. Chet Holmgren up next. This is a tough one for me and Chet. It's super, super tough because it's like I like Chet, but is he S tier? I don't think so. I think I gotta go A tier with Chet. And it just comes down to this. I don't think he's Bron level. I don't think he's Giannis level. And for that, I do think I gotta go A tier. Not that you couldn't have him any higher. I think you could. But for me, he's A tier. Some people like Chet over Giannis. Not me. Banchero up next. He sold me the other day. I'm going C tier with him. I'll go B tier. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just know Banchero sold me so badly in clutch time online. If it wasn't for him, Probably would have Joe Johnson on the No Money Spent Squad series, but it's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. I'm over it, and I'm not gonna let me being mad. I'm not gonna take it out on Paolo Banchero. It's okay. Kevin McHale up next, D tier. I don't really see it with McHale. If you're using the card, whatever, have fun with him. But I again just do not see it with Mr. Kevin McHale. Jaren Jackson Jr., A tier. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I really am a big fan of Jaren. Gonna shoot the ball well, plays good defense. I just don't see many flaws with Jaren. I think as far as complete power forwards, he's one of the most complete in the entire game. If you do want to run AK at the power forward position, he is A tier. His interior is good, getting to rebound the ball decently as well as play great defense. A tier, no doubter. Larry Marketing, B tier. I know you're 7 feet tall. You're going to shoot the ball well, but your defensive stats aren't great. And just as an overall card, you are pretty mid, pretty mediocre. B tier, Larry Marketing. Christian Laettner up next. See, I'm going D tier. I'm sorry, Christian Laettner. You're a bona fide scrub. You are. I'm not gonna sit here and gas a bona fide scrub. It's just not part of what I do. It's not who I am. If you want somebody to gas Christian Laettner, go watch somebody else. Because I promise you, I could make 100 videos and I will never gas that bad of a card. Phil Jackson up next, C tier. I actually don't hate on Phil Jackson. He's fine and he can actually play. Cliff Robinson up next, A tier. Cliff Robinson is absolutely elite. And I'm not trying to sit here and gas him because I don't even use him. But if you do need a power forward, that card can definitely play at a very high level for each and every one of you guys. E. Jinlian, B tier. I'm a big E. Jinlian fan. The thing about it is I might like him more at the center position than the power forward position, and it kind of sounds crazy considering his defense at the center position leaves a lot to be desired, but gonna shoot the ball well, stretch the court. He is 7 feet tall. Does a lot of things for you guys on the court. A little different power forward, not a guy that's going to play a ton of defense, but offensively speaking, one of the best power forwards, stretch bigs in the entire game. Naj Reid up next, B tier. I like Naj Reid. Now, a lot of you guys might struggle with his release, but I feel like if you get his release down, Naj is an absolute beast in my team. Can do a lot of things at a really high level. I think B tier is where Big Naj belongs. Jalen Williams up next. Right now, I got to throw him at C tier. He's not horrible. Can shoot the ball a little bit. Plays a little defense. He's just not next level good as it stands right now. Not to say he won't be with a future Evo. Right now, he is C tier though. Jared Vanderbilt up next, A tier. And I've got no hesitation putting him in A tier. He is absolutely elite. And I'd go as far as to saying he's better than AD. I mean, you guys can debate me. I think Jared Vanderbilt, stat-wise, blows AD out of the water. Now, AD player model might have Vando, and that might give him an advantage. But I'm telling you right now, I am a massive fan of Jared Vanderbilt in my team. Charlie Villanueva up next. Here's where things got to change. Chris Webber, you got to move up because you're pretty good. I actually like C tier outside of that. Charlie V, I can't put you in B tier. I want to put you in B tier, but I just can't. Charlie V, you're going to go in C tier. I don't mind the card, though. I think you can use Charlie V and have a lot of success with him. Anything higher than C tier is just absolutely, it's just putting him way too high. Next up, guys, we do see Big Bobby Portis. I struggle putting him at B tier either. And I don't hate him. He's fine. But I do think C tier is the right spot for Bobby Portis in general. And you could maybe argue B tier. And I'm not going to be the one to sit here and argue you on that. I just think, I think C tier is where he belongs. This Giannis at this stage, D tier. Still going to play some defense, but that's where he's at. Giannis Ruby, B tier. You could maybe argue A tier with Giannis. I just think, I just don't know if he gives you quite enough for me to put him at A tier. That's kind of my only holdup with him. He doesn't shoot the ball at an elite level, and I think at this stage, not being able to shoot the ball at an elite level does hurt the card. I mean, even if you're 50 with Giannis, that hurts the card's ability to play at an extremely high level. Isaiah Mobley up next. I'll throw him at D tier, but I actually don't mind him. I've had to use him in salary cap, stuff like that, and he can knock down some shots. Jabari Smith Jr. knocks down some shots defensively, just does not play very good defense. And it's going to get to that stage where I got to put one person at F tier, and I'm just going to move Dennis Rodman down. I don't like Dennis Rodman at all. There's going to be people out there, Ty. Dennis Rodman's one of the best rebounders in the entire game. Okay, I get it. But what else does he really bring to the table? Jason Tatum up next. I throw him at A tier. I still think when you talk about complete cards, that Amethyst Jason Tatum is up there. Do I recommend you guys locking him in? Absolutely not. But I think, again, when you talk about complete cards, Jason Tatum has to be up there as one of the most complete ones in the entire game. Because for me, knocks down shots, plays good defense. What else do I need? Jordan Walsh, power forward position. I'm going to go D tier. He's just undersized. Like him more at small forward position. The power forward position, way too small. Julius Randle, I'm going to go D tier. At this stage, I do not even like Julius Randle. It's crazy to say, but like my whole thing with Julius Randle is he's undersized. His release isn't, great. D tier. That's where I'm going. Karl Malone, D tier. I'm sorry. In season 1, you guys were fine. Season 2, I don't think so. I'll go C tier with Lamar Odom, because I think Lamar Odom gives you a little bit more than those guys. Still don't love him. Sean Marion, I guess I'll drag to B tier. Power forward position, I like him a little more than the small forward position. Good rebounder, gonna hold it down defensively. But I'm telling you guys, I don't love Sean Marion in general. When it comes down to the power forward position, guys, I'm just not a big fan of a lot of them. Anyone, honestly, that's not an A tier are cards I just don't use. If you got any guys in A tier, it could even be a guy like Jared Vanderbilt. I'm a fan of him. Vando, Chris Bosh, those guys are going to be my power forwards on the no money spent for the foreseeable future. That's going to wrap it up for our power forward tier list. Let me know your thoughts on this list down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're doing it. As always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.